Every day of our lives, we push buttons, flip switches, and turn on machines. Energy is instant, and it works for us. We take it for granted. But what happens when more and more people demand more and more energy? And how can we meet those demands in an environmentally responsible way? The world is on the brink of an energy crisis. As its population expands, the demand for energy will increase. The newest figures from the International Energy Agency predict that by the year 2030, the world will require 60% more energy. This raises serious issues. How is all that energy going to be produced? Fossil fuels provide 85% of the planet's energy, but supplies of coal, gas and oil are not inexhaustible, and the combustion of fossil fuels contributes to global warming. So what about renewable energy sources? Can they create enough energy to meet the world's demand? And at what cost? 6,000 years ago, the concept of energy was very different than it is today. During the Stone Age, human beings lived in a hunter-gatherer society, living from what they could reap from the land they lived on. The dawn of the Industrial Revolution in the late 18th century marked the end of the manual labour-based economy, making way for the age of industry and the manufacture of machines. The introduction of steam power meant that food and textiles could be transported over larger distances. As economic and technological progress increased in momentum with the advancement of the railways and steam-powered ships, along came the internal combustion engine and electrical power. Today, at the beginning of the 21st century, the world economy is predominantly based on fossil fuels. This situation is not long-term sustainable. In the years to come, the demand for energy is expected to rise significantly. At the same time, there is clear evidence that carbon dioxide emissions are contributing to global warming. Thus, the world faces a dual task of providing more energy with less carbon dioxide. The challenge is to make fossil-fueled energy production more environmentally friendly and efficient, while ensuring that energy production using renewable energy sources can be increased significantly. As there is still an abundant supply of coal, it will continue to be an important energy source, along with oil and gas, for many years to come. We can't just switch from using 85% fossil fuels to 100% renewable energy sources overnight. It just isn't feasible. It took over 200 years to build up our present energy system. All of our power stations are built to accommodate fossil fuels. What we need to do is to use the resources we have available and to use them as responsibly and efficiently as possible. The problem of carbon dioxide emissions must be solved, and alternative sustainable energy solutions must be found, but without energy companies going out of business. Economic growth, security of supply, and environmental sustainability, these are our main concerns. One of the biggest problems with the significant increase in wind power capacity is that the energy must be used as soon as it's produced, and at the moment there is no way of storing it in meaningful quantities. Also, the power output fluctuates due to the changeable nature of the wind. Wind power may be pollution-free, but too many wind farms will require a radical change in energy consumption. It is essential that a balance is maintained between the energy being produced and the energy being consumed, which is why windmills cannot run the energy system by themselves. So where does the future lie? With fossil fuels or renewable energy sources? The answer is a combination of both. One has to be made more reliable and the other needs to emit less carbon dioxide, working side by side while maintaining and contributing to economic growth. Today, around 15% of electricity and heat comes from renewable energy sources, especially wind power, while 85% comes from fossil fuels. It is the goal to reverse the fraction. So in 2040, we should only be emitting 15% of the carbon dioxide we emit today, when we compare our carbon dioxide emissions to the amount of heat and electricity being produced. Already by 2020, we plan to halve our carbon dioxide intensity. This goal is to be achieved by including greater use of biomass in the production of electricity and heat, and an extension of wind power. We plan to do this by investing in renewable energy, converting existing power plants to biomass and gas-fired power stations, and through new technologies. The 85-15 vision is an important step on the road. It's a matter of finding the right solution, that key component that could enable us to develop an effective carbon dioxide filter. Once this has been achieved, the carbon dioxide can be removed and deposited underground. Natural traps are ideal for this purpose, as the carbon dioxide cannot escape. One place that has been suggested is depleted oil fields. It's a safe solution all round. Another of the solutions for the future is the production of bioethanol, a carbon dioxide neutral liquid biofuel that can replace petrol and diesel. As 60% of Denmark's oil is used in transporting goods and people, an environmentally friendly fuel would mean a drastic reduction of carbon dioxide emissions. First-generation bioethanol, made from sugar and starch-rich crops such as corn and grain, is already being produced in many countries around the world. There are, however, certain drawbacks to the process, one of them being the high cost of the raw materials. Another problem is that many people question the ethics of using food products for fuel. Second-generation bioethanol, originating from wood, straw and other cellulosic agricultural residues, does not compete with food production and is much cheaper to produce. But the process is technologically much more advanced. In 2003, we built a small biomass power plant to illustrate the environmental and financial advantages of second-generation bioethanol. It was so successful that a larger demonstration plant is now under construction alongside the Asnæs power station in Kalundborg. Here, we hope to refine the very complex technological procedures that are necessary for the process. We expect the bioethanol plant to be successfully integrated into the power station on its completion, thereby showing that second-generation bioethanol production can be applied on a large scale. Biomass and carbon capture and storage are only two of the countless projects that have been set up to find solutions to the challenges we are facing. Yet another proposition is to store wind power, so it can be used to power fuel cells in electric cars and to provide power for district heating. One thing for certain is that energy is going to cost a lot more in the future if we are to change our methods of energy production. Whether we like it or not, energy prices are on the increase. And they will continue to increase as the global population expands and standards of living rise. What we need to do is to change the way we perceive energy, saving energy and using energy more efficiently, making sure our homes are properly insulated, turning off appliances instead of leaving them on standby, having solar panels fitted to the roof, and using energy at times of the day when there's more of it and it's cheaper. Energy is an essential part of our daily lives. We can't do without it, and we shouldn't have to be without it. But what we need to do is to be responsible about it and to use it wisely. The problems created by the production and consumption of energy are a global issue. We have to take the existing infrastructure and turn it in the direction of where we want to be in 20 years' time. As the demand for energy increases, the world must work together to make a difference. And the only way we can do that is to take a step in the right direction, together.